Hello and welcome everyone to Shredist's Gaming Itinerary. I've saved you some time, brought you straight to the Crade and Ridley Bridge here, as they're going to go ahead and open up as they've been defeated. They're going to give us access to the elevator to Torian. On our way down, we're going to see the franchise's namesake doing what it is they are wont to do. That is suck the life out of any and most all living creatures. Watch out, he's gonna get you. Now, Metroids are energy-based creatures. They're basically a giant bundle of energy with siphony teeth, so that they can latch on to creatures and suck the life force out of them. Thus, probably why the space pirates in general wanted to figure out a way to breed these things, weaponize them, and get them under control. It would be incredibly useful to have on hand. But there's one coming from the background. There's one being easily dispatched. That's the key. These all-energy beings are incredibly susceptible to cold. So that ice beam's going to freeze them. A single super missile will get rid of them. Or if you want to take your time, exactly five regular missiles will also do the job. I've definitely noticed when I'm using the regular missiles that I have a natural cadence when it comes to firing those things. In the beginning here it seems to be 3 and 2, as there oftentimes it's 4 and then 1. And I think part of that is using the Game Boy Player on the GameCube. The GameCube controller has kind of sometimes a funky V button that can kind of mess it up, as we find the hallmark of the channel in this episode, thus making it weird trying to count those out and hit them accurately without overly being wasteful. You can absolutely just waylay on the button and just see, when it's going to die. The issue with that, for this playthrough at least, is that we didn't collect a ton of the other missile upgrades, so we are limited, and we are going to be completing Torian, so that will become a factor later on. This spot, we get ourselves into a bit of a rough spot there, but that's okay. We're able to freeze one Metroid on top of the other, effectively boxing the lower one out, so that we can, as we usually should, fight these Metroids one at a time. It's much easier to get rid of them in a fashion that makes sense and isn't like half panic inducing when you're taking your time, going slow, and fighting them one at a time. Being able to freeze them through the floor like that is super useful. Now that being said, spoilers, we're not going to do a very good job of it. Dispatching Metroids, that is, down through this vertical shaft as we go through. Some of them are okay, some of them maybe not so much, but the trick really with the whole going slow thing is that you're going to only trigger the ones that you want, so you're not having to worry about a second Metroid like we have now to do here, because I got on that lower platform. A little bit of movement, a little bit of whatnot, and it's all good. Which you've noticed by this point as we've been dealing with these Metroids, when one latches onto you, at least when you're Samsaran, the way to deal with them is to get into the Morph Ball, drop a bomb, allow it therein to detach from you, hopefully get away and freeze it. So this room's a little interesting. We're going to bomb the floor out. We're going to go start dealing with some more of these Metroids. I don't know if you had power bombs what it would do, because clearly we don't have power bombs yet. I don't know that it would kill them, given that the beam itself doesn't particularly deal any damage. It is all in the concussive weapons. Therein why the missiles are the best, and really, at this point, only way to deal with them. You'll also have seen the little red circles, and there's going to be green ones as well later on. These little Cheerios, as we like to refer to them as, they are not particularly useful to you, except you can farm them, which is what I did before I came back to that save point. As you see, we're now fully powered up in the left-hand corner. The green ones pretty much always dropped an item when I wanted them. What we're going to do as we make our way here to Mother Brain, the boss here of Torian, is we're going to eliminate these zero coats, I think they're called, something of that nature. Anyway, they're living barriers is what they are. They take 10 missiles apiece to find your way through them. The issue being, they regenerate when they're not on their constant fire. So when you struggle like that one or like this one, where for whatever reason I just chose to hold the L button or whatever, so that way I could shoot up and diagonally instead of, you know, at the intended target, which would have been nice. They do eat up much more of your missiles than you would prefer, again, especially given that we're kind of low on them. But there she is, there's Mother Brain, and her very fancy jar. It's kind of interesting. She almost looks like rather an engine with just like a big old like squishy brain part on top. I don't know, kind of neat design. We're gonna go ahead and crack that jar because we're not very nice. We're the bunch of jerks this time. Missiles again, only way to do that, the beam obviously had no effect. In this fight, as we get ready to stop falling in the lava, initiate it here, is rather simple. It's the amount of nonsense happening around you that makes it any sort of difficult. Mother Brain's going to open her eye, you shoot it with missiles, and then as one would want to do in that situation, she's going to close it, charge up her energy beam, which is when she starts glowing blue, purple, or whichever color you prefer there. She's going to fire it, and we're going to repeat the process. Now, we're doing pretty okay, actually, in this fight. I am generally not very good at this at all, because I'm having a hard time usually concentrating on all the different things happening at once. But we are getting her reasonably low. We're going to probably switch over to super missiles here really soon. There it is. These are going to make much quicker work of her remaining health pool than what we've been doing so far. Get up in that little corner there when nothing's going to hit us. Make the jump or not. There we go. Wasted that other one. But that's alright. She's done. Explodiated. And that's not good. She's activated the self-destruct mechanism. We have 2 minutes to get ourselves off of the planet. Now, this isn't the worst thing in the world. They are 2-stage fall-through blocks, which means you do have that chance to kind of gather yourself and get to where you want to be to make your next jump. But never underestimate these sections, because you might just do this. And suddenly, you're falling back down, and the beeping doesn't stop. But we gather ourselves after not too far of a fall. The worst part, we were right there. It was the second to last jump to get up through, back to Criteria. But hey, what are you gonna do? Keep going, I suppose. Don't panic. That's the number one thing if you're in that spot. You usually have plenty enough time to try and get done what you need to get done. That being said, we're gonna hesitate there for just a moment. I'm not sure what's down there and I'd rather like to know. But that's not gonna happen. We have other things to be doing. Like again, not getting ourselves blown up. Seems good. Seems real good. As everything starts blowing up around, you'll see our handiwork as it appeared to Samus. But as these last few screens here roll, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed the content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Should you choose that latter option, hit that notification bell so I don't get lost in the incredible content you follow on YouTube. I've been Shrest, you've been amazing, and I'll see you in the next one.